Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Nabil Sheikh and I'm the head of Cedar's enrichment program.
And hello, everybody. My name is Umar Sheikh. I'll be the co-host with Mr. Nabil here today. I am the patron for Cedar Talent Society, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. In front of us, we have one of Cedar's finest students brought to light by her recent successes. But before I tell you what they are, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Fakiha Ahmed, and I would like to say that I'm very passionate about computer science. That's one of the reasons why I took part in Technovation itself. And yeah, I would love to share my story with everyone.
Thank you, Fakia, for being a part of this podcast. The first and the most interesting question that comes to our mind is what inspired you to be a part of this particular competition?
So, nothing too groundbreaking, I would like to say. I'm just an ordinary student that really wants to use technology and the tools that it provides us to kind of create a social change, something that changes our society for good. And that is the main force that made me look into competitions like these, competitions that allow us to not only work in teams, but also allow us to build an idea and actually showcase it to the world. So, like I said in the beginning, nothing too spectacular. It's just a simple motivation of, I want to change where I am.
How did you come across this competition?
That would be because of my parents. They instilled in me that I have to go look out for opportunities myself. So I was always on the lookout and starting to hear that what competitions are happening, when are their deadlines. So Technovation had been in like at the back of my mind for a couple of years, and this year I was like, I want to take part in it.
Very nice.
So, you mentioned it's a team competition. So,
Yeah.
tell us more about your teammates, who they are, where they're from, how you met them.
Okay. Before I tell you about who they are, I think I need to mention the fact that our team is incredibly international. What happens in these competitions is that usually teams are formed within your own locality, so within like your friend group or within your own class. That wasn't the case for me. I had just transferred, like I just came to Cedar, and I didn't know a lot of people at that time. So I didn't know anyone who would be eligible for this competition and, be actually willing to commit to a project like this. So what I did is that I messaged on some of my friend groups that I was in because of other activities. And I sent the message that, hey, I'm taking a part in this competition. These are the details. These are the skills that we need for them. If anyone is interested, let me know. And that's exactly how our team formed. Like those 5 seconds of courage to send that first message is the reason why I'm here. So yeah, the team is again very international. We have 2 people from Romania, one from Poland, one from Morocco, and then I'm from Pakistan. So very international, like I said.
How was your experience working with the international team?
It was safe to say a very like unique experience, I would like to say, because we had our fair share of challenges, but the lessons that each one of us took away from this entire competition, I don't think I would have gotten them from anywhere else. So, would you like me to kind of expand on the challenges? The lessons?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'd like to know this because we want you to share your story with our students and with our viewers so that they also know what kind of challenges you overcame and conquered what you conquered.
Of course. So for challenges, I would like to start with the fact that we were an international team. That's where it began and that's where it kind of ended. So everything from time zone conflicts to learning differences to kind of sometimes language barriers, we had to overcome those kind of minute differences to really make it work. One of the biggest challenges that we kind of encountered was the time crunch challenge. So not only, if anyone knows anything about coding, building an app within 6 months is a very, very tall order. So not only were we faced with that challenge, but we were international, so we didn't know each other. That means we didn't know what project we wanted to work on, what the other person was like, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. So we had to get through that icebreaker period. So that also took some of the time from the building.
Identifying who's
Yeah.
important.
And then we weren't experienced. We knew the programming basics, but we didn't even know what language we were supposed to code in. So icebreaker period, learning the language, learning the skills, learning how we're going to build it, and then actually building the product. That's how our time was divided, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges we faced, because yeah, it was a lot all at once. And that's one of the reasons why we're kind of so proud of this project, that we never focused too much on getting into the finals or the semifinals. We just gave our best, and then suddenly we were being recognized at an international platform, and it was just like, wow.
I mean, I can't imagine what that would be like. But okay, so back to the challenges again. You talked about language barriers being a problem sometimes. How was that, especially considering, I mean, everybody learns English in today's world, but how was that a challenge?
It wasn't that big of a challenge. It was just that, so our mentor, we had a mentor for the team, and the mentor was Romanian. So sometimes the mentor and the community girls, they would just kind of be in their own bubble, which they kind of translated later for us, but it wasn't that big of a challenge, but it was something that I think...
Obviously understanding that is a difficulty I can understand. You mentioned that you guys built an application. Tell us about that application. What was the idea behind that application? How did you form that application? And what was the actual result of it? Like whether you were able to develop it, is it running? Questions like that.
So the app is not deployed. It was a hackathon style competition. So in that we present the idea, but we didn't deploy the app. So the idea of the app came from us brainstorming together what we wanted to work on. Some of us were passionate about animal rights. Some of us were passionate about climate change. So we kind of oversaw this, like we saw this huge theme of disasters and urgencies that were happening, and we decided to do something about that. So that's what AlEarth is based on. It has a map on its front page which displays all of the disasters, natural or man-made, in figures. So not figures, sorry, in symbols. So if let's say there is a war that's happening somewhere, it would display that war on the map, on the location, and then let's say there's flood happening, there's an earthquake. So all of that would be on the map, and then you can filter through the disasters, you can click on the symbols to learn more, like how many people has it affected, for how long has it been going on. And we also built this community feature such that our users can verify that this is something that's actually happening. So that
put the data
yeah,
on the app.
yeah. And then another thing that I really liked about this app is that we focused on not just awareness, but we also focused on action. So to those specific disasters that were displayed, we linked organizations that were working with them, and we made a whole donation page such that you can just switch screens and just, donate to that specific organization or that.
It's very interesting. Like call to action was right there in that application. Very nice.
So, a bit more on like the community feature that you mentioned. Was, like you said, natural disasters, man-made disasters, they keep happening in the world. How do you update that on the app? Like how, is it the community feature that creates new events that are happening in the world, or is it you?
Short answer, yes. What we did is that we allowed all the users on our app to verify if something is happening and for like, is it going on or going not, like it has it stopped. So that allowed us to kind of filter past events or events that just, they had dissipated, versus the events that are currently happening and are currently affecting people. So that's the reason why we brought community into play, because if we were to have our own research team, then bias would steepen, and then that would just not be as...
And management of that team in different places across the globe is going to be a hectic task, right? With like continuation for this, so in the application, do you put the disaster first and ask the community to verify, or does the community puts the disaster first and then the community of that particular region verifies it as well?
Okay, so we haven't deployed the app. I would like to start off with that. Our idea is that we would put some initial disasters, like the ones that we know are happening, and then the community would verify and add and so on and so forth. It would go.
Are there chances of this application being deployed?
I wish, but it was a very initial stage project. So I would love to work with our team, but it's just university application that academics are taking so much of the time. So maybe in college, inshallah.
So tell us a bit more about the competition then. So you guys made it through the initial regional stages and went on to the semi-finalists, I believe. How was that experience? How was it being able to pitch in your app to other people and showcase something of this magnitude to people that were interested? And then how sad was it that you weren't able to go to the absolute highest jump?
I would like to start up with that last question. Because it wasn't sad. It wasn't sad. We never, coming to the semifinals itself was such a huge deal. But we never went into that competition with that aim. For us, it was about giving our best and building something that we really cared about, and something that if we look back 2-3 years from now on, we would be actually proud that we built this. So we went into the competition giving our best. It was just kind of like a bonus one that we got recognized.
But that's great because we'd like to instill this in our students, in our culture as well, that you shouldn't just aim for that final goal, that, I want to win the competition. And the aim should also be towards the journey that you are going through for this particular event or for this particular competition. That would make memories that you can remember forever. Obviously, learning experiences are there. I'm sure you guys as a team have worked in multiple aspects over the passage of how many months, for example?
I think 6 months. We started in months of, I think we started in October, November, and then we submitted it in April, and then I think regional was in May.
Dang. Yeah, so that's really...
So you were working through your...
Yes. Let me tell you something. Our final submission, the first time we submitted, it was in between my mocks. And then the regional pitch was literally 1 day after my further mechanics exam. And for anyone who has taken further maths, you know that further mechanics is the worst paper in further maths series. So it was very hectic, but yeah, we made it through.
You managed.
Yeah, and it was just not just for us. IB exams, AP exams, SATs, everything was happening. So I'm really proud of my team for making it to this one.
Questions regarding the competition. So how many teams were participating in this competition?
So I believe there were around 11,000 people that took part, and
11,000 people or teams?
Teams, I'm not sure about teams, but on their website they say that about 3,200 projects were submitted from 69 different countries.
And you guys made it to the semifinal.
To the top 200. That's, I think, 5-6% of...
Yes,
And that was a big deal. Like a very big deal.
Great job. I mean, I must say this, that you guys persevered. And the best part about it was that, you didn't know each other. You had to ice break in the initial stages. You had to go through it throughout your mocks and your CAIE.
Yeah.
And yet you guys made it to the top 2, I'm assuming?
To this dish.
Top 2. Oh, I think you need to cut this one. You guys made it to the top 200. That's really nice. 3,200 students, 3,200 teams participating. That's still a significant achievement for us.
So you said that not the top 5, but like 5 projects are chosen to go to California for the finalists.
Okay.
So my question is that do you know what those 5 projects are, or do you know the people behind those 5 projects, or did you just leave it there?
I'm not sure. So what happens is that they post the projects of those finalists on their blog website. So we did go through the projects and we have an idea of what they are about. I cannot recall it there. But yeah, it's available to the public. Anyone can go and look those projects up and see the reason why they were made.
Also, they also give the detailed analysis.
Yeah, they have. For us, we submitted 4 things: the app, the code itself, and then we had the business plan, the market, how's the competition, and all that stuff. And then one was a pitch video in which we pitched the idea of the app, and then the other is a technical video in which we explained all the complexities of the code and all that stuff. So I believe their pitch video and their product description is on the blog page of Technovation. So I think anyone can go check that out. Just Google 2024 finalist.
I'm a little bit in awe. I'm sorry. Like, this is very. So just for the viewers, we had a conversation about this before Sarnabian came into the room, and I was already in awe about the entire thing. And then you gave us details about the app, and now I'm even more in awe because it's just incredible. Like, coming up with that idea is, especially when it's a group of people, is such a difficult thing to do, especially when you don't know people. Because it's easy to come up with ideas on your own, but it's not easy to come up with ideas in a group and then implement those ideas into something tangible. So, yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed, sorry. So, okay, then my next question would be, if you were one of those top 5 people and you did manage to go and pitch this to actual investors, what would the hypothetical plan be for this app? Have you had any kinds of thoughts about that?
For the deployment, yes, what we initially wanted to work on was to refine the idea and on itself, and then deploy the first version. And then afterwards, we are thinking about bringing AI into this, so predictive models and all that stuff. We haven't done a lot of research on AI, but it was like, a far-fetched goal. Okay, if this happens, we will.
It's obviously incredible, just like how you mentioned that there is college applications coming, so there's the SAT coming up, and then there are exams and everything coming up as well. It makes sense that it needs a lot more time than you can right now contribute to it, and inshallah we'll get that time which you can execute and make sure that this happens. I would like to know that what would be your message to our students' body as to how should they pursue these activities.
I think the one message that I would like to share with this body is do something that you care about. I see so many people nowadays just kind of going after that impressive trophy or a medal or a title. For me, it's never, part of it has been, but it's never always been that trophy. It's a lot more about what I do and what I build such that I'm actually proud of what I've done. So that would be one of the messages that I would like to convey to Srimati, that do something that if you were to look back on it from 4 or 5 years into the future, you'd be like, I'm proud of my past self for doing all that. And another message adding on to that is having the audacity to actually commit to something this big of a scale. I see so many people who are incredibly talented just not committing to something that they can easily do, and they have the skill set to do it. So having the audacity and the passion to actually see it through, I think that would be my one message.
I think the numbers you earlier shared are testament to this, that 11,000 participants were there, but only 3,200 projects were submitted. Maybe there is a division of teams, but I'm assuming some teams must have backed out. Some teams must have just let go in the first or second stage only because they weren't able to continue. So the crux of the message is that you need to pursue something which you really, really want to pursue in terms of your academia or in terms of your activities, whatever that is, whatever motivates you, whatever, encourages you to take that step forward should be the thing that you should pursue. So Fakiha, now that you have developed the codes for this application and you have a base set for it, in moving forward, what are the steps that you would like to evaluate whether this application can be deployed or not?
So this question I'm actually exploring in my A2 role perspective class. The question, we have to write a research report, and the question that I'm exploring is, can apps like these truly have the impact that we imagine them to have? So
you're conducting a research on it, I was assuming.
Yes, you can say it's more about literary review. We look at different articles and we kind of analyze them, and then we put them in a research report.
Okay, so what have you found so far? Is it tangible? How far has your research taken you then? Can you create that impact that you imagine or that you want to?
So I would like to say that we're not that far into the process of research, but from what I've seen so far, I think technology really has what it takes to create that impact that we're looking for and to really transform the playing field of disaster response and management was currently.
Thank you so much, Fakia, for being with us, for sharing your story with us and our viewers. And I'm sure this is going to be an inspirational moment for our viewers, that they are going to pursue this in their own realms, not necessarily AI or tech, but definitely whatever they want to pursue, whatever interests them, should be the goal for them.
I think my take from this entire conversation would be that do something you care about. A lot of times, especially in today's world, people try to chase money, they try to chase different kinds of highs, and it ends up being something that they find that, they don't enjoy doing. And oftentimes they find that out too late. And so I think having this conversation with you and finding out what you do and what you want to do and why you wanted to do it, the main message for me was do something you care about. So, yeah.
And finally, Fakia, we'd like you to share your wisdom with our viewers and our students.
I think the only thing that I need to say is that have those 5 seconds of courage. For me, had I never sent that message on my communities, I would have never been here. I would have never participated in Technovation, met such amazing people, you had such an amazing journey. Just having those 5 seconds of courage can really, really change your life. So that's all I have to say.
To conclude it, we can say just believe in yourselves and have that courage to take this step.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fakiha, for coming on here. It has been a pleasure to be your host.
Thanks.
And yeah, we look forward.
Forward to having you again, and maybe other students too.
Yes.